Yes.
Hey, what do you mean by a self-paced course?
Well, the course material is available in the form of video lectures. And there are multiple practice problems that come along as well. So, you can access all of it anywhere, anytime. And they are available to you for lifetime.
No way.
Oh, yes way. Don't delay and enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hi geeks, Akshay Bhaskar this side. So how are you guys doing? 7 people are live, 8 people are live. Keep joining, keep commenting. I hope you guys are staying home, staying safe. Corona has been it has been spreading so rapidly that situation has been going really bad. So I would suggest that anyone who is not taking it seriously, start taking it seriously and stay at home and take care of your health and people around you. All right, maintain social distance, wear mask, sanitizer, everything, guys. So okay, I'll wait for some comments. Side by side, let me tell you about the guest who we are inviting today. So we'll discuss about his interview experience. So he's from Triple IT Bangalore. He did his MTech in CS from there. Currently, he is placed as an intern at NetApp. So we'll talk about how he backed this opportunity for himself and actually converted it. I can also see from some comments. Hi Ayush. Hi Sagar. Okay. It's on campus, Abhiram, but we'll get back to that. Let me invite Mradul and he'll introduce more about himself, and then we'll talk and we'll discuss some questions, and we'll also pick up some questions from the comment section. Let's start, guys. All right. 21 people are live. Guys, keep calling your friends if somebody wants to join us. Hi, Mradul.
Yeah, hi Akshay. Hello everyone. I hope everyone are safe.
Yeah, I hope the same for everyone right now. Really,
Yeah.
this is really bad. Anyway, so I just told him a little intro about yourself in the starting. But why don't you, take? Let's start with a question where you give a brief introduction about yourself, Madhur.
Yeah. So I was basically from Indore only. I had done my undergraduate from Indore only. So I'd undergraduate in computer science. So especially in college, I mainly focus on my basic skills, how to improve it. I used to learn different languages. Even I made my college website as well. I written a research paper. Even I learned some graphic designing as well.
Okay.
In third year, I started preparing for GAT. So after graduation, I got selected in Triple IT Bangalore. So I pursue my MTech in computer science. I done a specialization in networks. So this July, maybe I'll get my MTech degree. And I recently from January joined NetApp as an intern. So currently, this is the fourth month of my internship. So it's also an awesome experience for me. So that's it from my side.
Okay. So how did you get to know about the opportunity? It was on campus, right? As you told me before. Yeah, you told me in the session where we were having mock about this session. You told me that it's on campus, and I already told to Abhiram who joined in the comment section. All right, so that's nice, man. That's nice. On campus placements are always fruitful, for sure. That's the reason you go to college in the first place.
But I also mentioned, in undergraduation, I had not attended much classes. So because I don't find it relevant. So.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I am from NSIT, so I also didn't do many classes, but I bagged RBS. So I know.
Yeah, but I actually doing something good, right? I'm not wasting my time, right? Utilizing in some important skills.
Plus, like 7-8 years ago, not many, it was not a culture of doing online courses or anything like that. Now everything is so organized online that you can any day do that yourself. And if you're really good involved, you can do that. All right. So how many rounds were there in the interview process?
So there were 5 rounds. So
first, step by step, explain each round. That would be
so first was coding or normal assessment round in which we had they given duration of 90 minutes in which they asked in which it covered about 3 coding questions. So mainly 2 were easy and 1 were tough. I would say. And apart from that, there were like 30 MCQ question, which is basically mainly on OS, DVMS and Linux. So yeah, I'd solved about 50% correct, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, so after some days, I got shortlisted for my technical round, and my first technical round was scheduled. So in first technical round, so interviewer asked first about the project. So I'd done some work on face recognition. So I'd explain him also how I made that project, what are the challenges I had faced, what are the use case he had asked about all that. So I'd use SQL in my project also. So he then asked me about the SQL implementation of one SQL implementation basically. Then he moved to coding. So he started asking one or two coding question on strings. So I had given multiple approaches to solve that problem. So he was quietly impressed. Apart from that, he asked me some question on multi-threading, some question on socket programming. So what I like about this round, basically when I'm answering the question, he also give me the alternative approach of the solution. So it's So after 2 hours, I got to know that I got shortlisted for manager round. So again, she got the feedback from the previous interviewer that I like data structure. I'm good at it in it. So she just throw me an how to design an elevator question, right? So initially I bit struggle in it, but she used to give me hints in that question. So at last we reach a common solution. Then she wanted to know all the project I had done in my undergraduate and postgraduate. Is basically what are the projects I had done, what are the challenging part I had faced, whether I had done in team or not, because they want me to see the
very
team building
important
part.
that you can how well you gel up in a team and how good you can work in that. That is
Yeah.
number one thing which I personally look at every.
Right. So then next day, my second technical interview was scheduled. So this round is basically optional. Like for some guys, they used to set up, and it's totally depend on them. But they taken my second interview round. So how it's about 1 hour duration. So he started shooting questions. Just he wanted to cover as much as question he can cover in 1 hour. So he asked some coding question on linked list trees. Then again OS, DVMS, some language specific question on OOPS concept. Then in the evening, HR round of 15 minutes. It's just a formality round where she asks about the feedback of the interview and why I had pursued my higher education. Some question like that. So that was all.
Okay, Mridul, thank you for sharing that. All right, so let's move on to the next question. You also mentioned that you were asked about project in your interview process as well in the round, right? So shed some more light on the fact that projects are important for resume, for sure, but how much important and how much projects should at least a person has, and what different project ideas you can give.
Yeah. So first of all, see whatever we study in our curriculum, it's not complete industry oriented. It might happen that in industry you are working on something different or something different technology stack. So if you had covers a project of different skills, so that will be easier for in industry to you can grasp concept on. Secondly, with placement placement perspective, I would say, see, project is a savior for you. Since we are a fresher and we don't have much industry exposure, or we don't have much experience, so how interviewer going to judge you? Basically, they want to know your problem solving skill. So if you mention some interesting project and So if you mention some interesting projects, so and you talk about some challenges, how you implemented that, what innovative you had done in that project. So it might happen that if you are not good at coding, majority question he can ask from your project as well. So
Okay.
in that point of view, also project is important. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But some project ideas, Mridul, like some project ideas. Okay, I understand. Definitely projects are important. And at least one project everyone should do, right? One.
I will say two. Like yeah, in actually in resume you don't have to mention much project. Just you have to mention two projects. That is enough. But you
Okay.
should completely know about that. For some guys, they did not even done two project as well. But they you should what you are mentioning in the resume now. You should completely know that. So that is important. So some project. See, I had done some work on facial recognition. So you can try that. Apart from that, there is you can make some project on web development as well.
Hmm.
Some maybe done some work on socket programming.
Hmm.
So these are some ideas.
Okay. And any resource, online resource, like any link, any particular resource where there are some ideas of project. Maybe Geeks for Geeks में definitely भी होगा या तुमने
Yeah.
कहीं से हो.
See, basically, I used to refer GitHub, just Googling it
GitHub.
on, yeah. And I asked my, I had a good network of LinkedIn. So whatever project I want to done, I refer to someone. So I basically use LinkedIn, so for a resource stuff. So I asked people suggest me some ideas, or if I am stuck in some at something, like they are basically professional, they are more experienced, right?
Okay.
So they can suggest me some technologies which are industry oriented, on which I can do project on, right? So that also is also beneficial.
Okay. Okay. So one thing, Madhul, that there are times obviously where you feel demotivated. Sometimes when you're
Yeah,
preparing, right?
even I got rejected in many interviews,
Yeah,
but
that was my next question to you. That obviously this is not the first thing that you gave
uh,
the interview and you got selected. You must have been
right,
rejected by other companies, but it's a sometimes like a setback. You start, you go in the phase of doubting yourself. So many things come
right.
up. So in that phase, how did you, actually came back on track? That is the question.
So I just keep learning I just keep on learning. I just try to be as proactive as possible. I just set up some deadline and short term goal basically
Mhm.
for myself. And if you achieve that goal, the motivations come on your own. Apart from that, I used to try guiding from my seniors. We are trying to cover the journey which they had already covered. So,
Okay.
and secondly, there like nowadays there are multiple resources for one thing only. So you can't read all. So which you should prefer in that also that is also beneficial. But yeah, one advice, try to follow the correct one, right? Genuine, right? So that is also important.
Okay. Okay. So advice to the viewers, placement related people who are watching us. Not many people join today, but still okay. I always say that even if like one or two people also join, we'll do this because if
Okay.
somebody gets insight, कुछ ना कुछ तो मिलता है यार.
Right,
अगर
right, right, right.
होता है. So 20 people are live right now. So what
Okay.
advice do you give them? Any particular advice from your experience?
See, okay, we can divide this question in two parts. Firstly, just start preparing before 3-4 months when you are before your placement session start begin.
Okay.
Then for coding purposes, you have to like practice coding till you got placed. So you have to cover all the question from all the data structure, like some question from arrays, some question linked list, DP, graph. Don't practice like there are some advanced data structure like tries and segmented. Just don't go for it. Just do must do question, and GFG is a good course of pseudo placement, so I used to refer it for my revision. Secondly, coming to my theoretical, what we need to prepare for theoretical, right? So I used to prepare just one language, that is C++, or you can refer just prepare one language, C++ or Java. They usually ask the question on OOPS. So like in C++, they used to ask abstract class, what is the virtual function. In core CS subject, just prepare OSDBMS and CN. Just prepare some Linux command. Prepare some puzzles. You can find that also on GFG. And there are some resources, before going for interview, just give some mock interview. Just start preparing for some more. Apart from that, what I learned from my interview experience, I also want to share that as well. So just prepare 5 to 6 resume differently, and so just apply according to your JD. So and don't put much stuff there. Make sure whatever you are putting, you should know about it. Secondly, don't feel that if you are stammering or if you had the bad communication skills, that are going to affect you in the interview process. Third, don't try to rush to give an answer. Just listen carefully what the question, take some time, then give the answer. Always if suppose if interviewer has asked some coding question, always ask doubt. They so suppose if here asked some array question and they not define the output for negative test cases, you should include that. You should ask that as well. So they love like people, and they want people who raises question. So yeah, this is all the tips I want to give. And also just just go for you can also go for some you can also include system design question. Very few organization ask, like Morgan Stanley has asked, and there are some other organizations. Very few organization ask, but yeah, it's sometimes system design level question are also asked. So just prepare that as well.
Okay, so Mradul, these were the questions, Geeks for Geeks, I had to ask from you. Okay.
Yeah.
But now we'll go through the comments and pick up few questions from there. Okay. And so I'll all the geeks, please send in your questions in the comments. Talo will pick up one question. We'll pick up today because we're already 90 minutes through. So that we'll talk about. Okay.
We can pick up this one. How are the placement for MS?
Okay. So Gautam asked, how are the placement for MS and CSA, MS and CSA at IIIT Bangalore?
So usually, MS placement is depend on the professor under which you are doing research work. So mainly they are depend on that. Apart from that you can sit on placement process. There is no rule. You are eligible to sit. So it's up to you that you can clear it or not. So yeah, but you are eligible, and company company prefers. They don't differentiate basically. So yeah.
All right. Okay, let's pick up one more question. So Bhashu is asking what type of projects. Suggest some data structure to mastery. Okay, tell me which one.
Suggest some data structure to mastery. So he
Not very clear,
what?
right? Question is not very
So
clear, right?
he want me to ask like resources to learn data structure or some specific data structure question.
Be a little more clear, man. Some other method.
How many hours should I practice coding question on a daily basis?
Okay, let's do
So right now,
all right, let's do that.
Which one?
This one only. How many hours
Okay.
should I practice coding on a daily basis? Suryakant is asking. Yeah.
So again, it's depend on integer. See, I am not good at coding, so I used to give almost 3-4 hours daily. So you know my okay. So let me tell you my coding journey. Where from? See, I started my coding from after from Triple IT Bangalore only, and I'm bit late, right? So you know, I'm searching for a platform where I can learn coding. So then I started learn coding from GFG. So in GFG, you know, you have a separate data structure where you can refer. Like in array, there like 200 plus question in array. In fact, you know, there are some subsection like arrangement, rearrangement, and optimization problems, some sorting, searching. So you can first you can start learning from that. After you are comfortable, you know, if you get some confidence that no, you can crack it, then you can switch to other platform.
Okay. Got it. Mradul, one more. What do you say?
Yeah.
Will you take one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Because now people are engaging and putting questions. So,
I have a market. What are some best resources to learn? No, any question on previous internship? If in what are the so what are the three things to learn? I don't know what cloud computing. So marketing and agricultural aspect. So anything. This is first question asked by Kashish Sethi. Anything new except data structure, database and or self project? Then come.
no, he's saying something. He's saying something else. Kashish is like,
so what is the most important in DSA? How many question per data structure? So how many question per data structure, or what is most important in DSA?
Magda Mas, please tell about your journey. This was the first question. Brief intro about yourself. So Mradul talked about that. You can refer the initial part of the video. Okay, so all right, listen, Mradul. So
Yeah.
it's taking long to decide a third one, and we are already 24 minutes
Okay.
for
Okay.
the of
No
interview
problem.
experience. So, okay, is algorithm important? Can you talk about it? The last question.
Yeah. It's completely important. You know, basically your interview, your interviewer expected you to you know, two things. First is about the coding, and second is about the projects. Apart from that, they used to ask some little question on language specific question, one or two puzzle, and some CS core subject question. But yeah, there were like 2 or 3 rounds, right? And in every round, at least for me, they used to ask 2 questions for every round. So it's important, man.
It is important.
Yeah, just in fact, you know what I suggest, just learn learn the basic data structure, you know, just array, linked list, tree, graph, DP. In fact, what I seen from my placement perspective, mostly mostly company asks from this data structure. They not even ask DP question as well. So they used to ask array tree. I don't know why they like array tree question much and linked list. So just prepare that. Don't and you can go for DP, but yeah, again, it's all depend on how much time you can devote.
Okay.
GD. There was no GD round in any of the interview. No. In my case, there was no GD round.
Okay.
When I give there is a company, I forget the name. It's I forget totally. I had given I had given is interview in my undergraduation. So there was I had to face some GD round. But yeah, in post graduation, mostly the process are standard. There are no like GD rounds and all. In fact, yeah, mostly in virtually they do not used to take it.
All right, Mradul. So there are more questions, but we can't take it right now. We have a limitation on time. Really apologize for that. All the geeks, really sorry about that. But Mradul's LinkedIn profile is in our YouTube description. You can connect with him and maybe ask your questions over there. Mradul, is that fine with you?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Great. All right. So Mradul, thank you so much for joining us and sharing the valuable experience. So I am sure that people would benefit from it. Some perspective milega, expand over perception will be very important. Opinion. Right. So thanks, Mradul. I'll bid goodbye to you and talk to the audience for a minute.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, man. Bye. All right, guys. So that was it. Some questions are left. Connect with him, as I said earlier. And I'll reiterate that COVID is going on, guys. Be responsible about this situation. There might be a situation where you haven't seen, in your clothes that somebody is getting affected. But trust me, I have seen people getting affected in a very bad way. That made me aware that I have to take care of myself and my family. I would appreciate each one of you to also stay home and stay safe, because everyone, you are important for us because you are our geeks, like our audience, right? So, all right, man. Thanks for joining, and we'll come up with such sessions every day, different segments, more creativity coming our way. Take care, guys. Keep learning, keep growing. Akshay Bhaskar this side. Connect with me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well if you have any questions. Bye-bye. Take care.